There was a time when mornings felt magical. The sun peeked through kitchen curtains, cartoons flickered on boxy TVs, and the only thing that mattered was which cereal you would pour first. Back then, breakfast was not just about food, it was about imagination. Every colorful box promised adventure mascots, became friends, and each crunch carried the joy of being a kid in America. But not all of those cereals made it into the modern pantry. Some vanished quietly, leaving behind nothing but faded commercials and memories that still taste a little sweet. Today on America in Time, we are opening the cupboard of the past to remember 5 lost breakfast cereals that defined American childhoods and discover why they disappeared. Let's start with a cereal that made mornings smell like the inside of a diner waffle crisp. First, Waffle Crisp. It was not just cereal, it was breakfast in a box. One pour, and your kitchen smelled like Sunday morning waffles drenched in syrup. Introduced by Post in 1996, Waffle Crisp hit shelves during the golden age of sugary cereal innovation. Every box promised a waffle taste, in every bite shaped like tiny golden grids that looked just like the real thing. Commercials featured quirky old ladies making each piece by hand, turning a breakfast food into a household laugh. Kids loved its buttery sweet crunch, and parents tolerated it because it made mornings easier. It became a cult favorite, especially for those who grew up in the late 90s when breakfast still felt like a treat, not a task. Then, without warning, Post discontinued it in 2018. Fans flooded social media with petitions and nostalgia posts begging for its return. For many, it was not just about cereal. It was about remembering simpler days before smartphones and grown-up worries. And while Waffle Crisp was sweet and warm like a cozy morning, our next cereal was all about taking your favorite after-school snack and turning it into breakfast. Second, Rice Krispies Treats Cereal. It started as a sticky homemade snack and somehow became one of the most irresistible cereals ever poured into a bowl. Launched by Kellogg's in 1993, Rice Krispies Treat Cereal was a clever twist on their original classic. Instead of plain puffs, each piece was a tiny cluster of marshmallow-coated Krispies, recreating that gooey, crunchy magic kids already loved. It was breakfast built straight from school bake sales and childhood lunchboxes. For many, it was the perfect balance of nostalgia and rebellion, a dessert disguised as breakfast. Parents might have frowned, but kids were thrilled to finally eat what felt like candy before class. The commercials said it all tastes the fun of Rice Krispies treats for breakfast. Then one day it was gone. No big announcement, no farewell box, just missing from shelves. Fans noticed, immediately sparking online petitions and even homemade recreations. What was once a symbol of childhood joy quietly vanished in a corporate silence. But while Rice Krispies Treat cereal disappeared quietly, our next one went global only to be lost in a maze of corporate red tape and international confusion. Third, Oreo Os. It was the dream of every kid and the nightmare of every parent. Cookies for breakfast, and somehow it was approved. Launched in 1998, Oreo Os was a collaboration between Post and Nabisco, blending America's favorite cookie with a breakfast bowl. The cereal featured chocolatey O's dusted in creamy sweetness, recreating the unmistakable taste of an Oreo dunked in milk. It was more than a cereal, it was marketing genius in every crunchy bite. Kids went wild for it. The taste, the bold blue box, even the milk turning chocolatey, everything screamed indulgence. In the late 90s, when cereal aisles were full of cartoon mascots and sugar-coated dreams, Oreo Os stood at the top as the ultimate fun breakfast. But in 2007, a merger ended the magic. Nabisco and Post were split between companies, and the trademark rights tangled in legal red tape. The cereal vanished overnight, available only in South Korea for nearly a decade, turning it into an underground legend among American snack fans. It finally returned briefly in 2017, but for many the magic just did not taste the same. While Oreo Os were born from a corporate powerhouse, our next cereal came from an unlikely place, a partnership between donuts and coffee that turned breakfast into a bold experiment. Fourth, Dunkin' Donuts cereal. What if your favorite morning coffee shop decided to skip the cup and pour itself straight into your cereal bowl? In 1988, General Mills teamed up with Dunkin' Donuts to launch one of the most daring breakfast experiments of the decade, Dunkin' Donuts cereal. It came in two flavors, glazed and chocolate, each shaped like tiny donuts. The commercials proudly declared it a crunchy part of a complete breakfast, tapping into America's growing obsession with coffee culture. For kids, it was fun. For adults, it felt familiar. It blurred the line between grown-up mornings and childhood sweetness. Many remember that first bite, a mix of coffee, aroma, sugar glaze, and the promise of something different from everything else on the shelf. But it did not last. Parents complained it was too sugary, and nutrition experts were not kind either. Within a year, the cereal was gone, leaving behind only faded commercials and a handful of collectors who still remember its pink and orange box. And while Dunkin' Donuts cereal was gone before most kids could even try it, our next one came straight from the golden age of Saturday morning TV, where heroes did not just save the day, they sold cereal too. Fifth, Mr. T's cereal. It was not just breakfast, it was a lesson in courage, strength, and Saturday morning heroism. Introduced in 1984 by Quaker Oats, Mr. T cereal rode the wave of 80s pop culture. Inspired by the A-Team star himself, the cereal featured chocolate-flavored pieces shaped like tiny T's. Each box came with motivational messages, encouraging kids to be strong and kind just like Mr. T. It was more than food, it was a daily pep talk in a bowl. For a generation growing up on action-packed cartoons and Saturday morning adventures, it was perfect. Kids lined up in front of the TV, spoon in hand, ready to start the day with their hero's energy. The combination of fun shapes, rich chocolate taste, and Mr. T's charisma made it a must-have cereal. By 1989, the craze faded. New trends, new mascots, and changing tastes pushed it off the shelves. But for those who grew up with it, a spoonful of Mr. T cereal is not just chocolatey crunch. It is a memory of feeling unstoppable as a kid. These cereals may be gone, but their legacy lingers in every nostalgic memory of morning routines, bright boxes, and the magic of childhood breakfasts. As we close the cupboard of memories today, it is clear these cereals were more than just breakfast. They were tiny portals to our childhood's mornings, filled with laughter, imagination, and the simple joy of colorful boxes and sugary crunch. From the syrupy comfort of Waffle Crisp to the gooey delight of Rice Krispies Treat cereal, the cookie magic of Oreo Os, the bold experiment of Dunkin' Donuts cereal, and the heroic charm of Mr. T cereal, each one tells a story of a time when breakfast was an adventure, not just a routine. Even though these cereals are gone, their flavors linger in our memories, reminding us that some things, the joy, the excitement, and the wonder of being a kid, are timeless. If this trip down the breakfast aisle brought back memories, make sure to subscribe to America in Time. We explore the stories, nostalgia, and history that shaped the America we remember, one moment at a time.